voiceover to find out how I did it. Hello beauties and welcome back to the channel. Hi, how are you? In today's video is me doing a voiceover. So I'm doing the intro now with my voice here. So I can explain to you guys what the video is. And then we're going to go into a voiceover mode. So starting off, I'm using the Touch of Soul No Problem Primer. And it just is a really great primer to have long-lasting foundation. So just rubbing that all over the face there and tapping under the eyes. So now going on to brow products. I use a lot of Benefit ones. You don't have to use Benefit. You can use whatever you feel comfortable using. So just starting off, I am using number 4 from the Brow and just shaping my eyebrows with it. So one eyebrow is done, snatched, and then onto the other brow now. So we just gonna shape that as so. I love the shape I do for my eyebrows, but everyone has different preferences. So I am just doing it. I'm showing you closer how I do this eye. And then for the next Benefit product, I use the brow pencil. That is really great for everything it needs to do. And it is the, let me try to remember the name of it. I have so many brow products, it's hard to remember. But I think it was the Precisely My Brow I used. Sorry for the noise, guys. But I also used the spoolie on the other end of that as well as filling it in. So I just do that. Then I use the Gimme Brow in 3.5 to just set everything in place with that. Look how good those eyebrows look. And I just use a regular spoolie to brush them out. And now it is time for cleaning up the eyebrows. I use the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in Light, just so it carves out my eyebrows to the gods. Because I love snatched eyebrows. I don't know what about you guys, but that is my favorite thing to do. Is just to snatch my eyebrows and make them look perfect. And then I just am using a flat tip brush just to get everything there. And then I use the Pretty Vulgar translucent powder to set the concealer in place so it doesn't slip and slide around and give me really harsh lines for when it's time for eyeshadows. So I just use the same brush as before to get all the concealer on the lid to the powder. And that is what's going on right now. Alright, now it is time for the Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette that I love and adore. So let's see what color we're starting off with after we open it and show the glory. So starting off for a transition shade, we are using MFEO, and that is going on a fluffy brush there. nice and fluffy, because we love fluffy brushes. That makes the seamless blending so much more easier. And we're just blending. And then going on to Jazz, which is that pretty red, dark red there. And we are just gonna grab it on a nice, smaller, fluffier brush. I first packed it onto the outer corner of my eye, ever so heavily. I packed it first, and then I started to smoke it out with the same fluffy brush as before. Or it was a smaller fluffy brush. Yes, it was a smaller fluffy brush that I was packing on still, and showing you how much pigment is on that eyeshadow. It is really cool how I kind of was like playing with colors that I usually don't touch on this palette. And there's the fluffy brush that I blend everything out with. I chose a smaller one so it can be more precise, and it is easier to handle with a smaller, fluffy brush. And now going on to putting concealer on a flat brush that I used to carve my eyebrows on with. The same thing on my lid. We are just lightly cleaning up the lid area for a shimmer that I'm going to be adding, which was, if I can finish that there. The shimmer I used was Faint. Is this like kind of like a pretty pink, light pink, and it's really pretty, and I love it to bits. So that's what I use for shimmer. And for foundation, I used a mixture of my favorite foundations, which are the Wet n Wild Faux Focus and Buff Bisque, and the what other one did I use? Sorry guys. I used the I used the Smashbox, no, not the Smashbox, the Makeup Forever foundation in 355. That is the shade I used. I'm sorry guys, but I'm like looking all over my bed for like the products I use, so you can guys know. Yes, the foundation from Makeup Forever was in Y355. So I'm just blending that all out with my Pink Beauty blender, and I love this combo. It like looks so full coverage and flawless. Now it is time for concealers. I use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus concealer in light medium, and then I use the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in light, just to lighten up and brighten. One is to conceal everything, and then the Maybelline one is to brighten the underneath the eye. So that is what I'm doing right now, is just get everything concealer wise on the face. And we just blend again with the Pink Beauty blender. is the same powder I use to set my concealer on my eyelid. It is the Pretty Vulgar translucent powder. It is like the best setting powder I've used that's translucent. It like feels so light and not too crazy, and I'm just baking a little bit, but also setting my face with the Beauty Blender, because sometimes I like how the Beauty Blender blends instead of everything else. So I'm just blending the powder on and just pressing it on instead of like swirling like I usually do. So that's what's going on now. And now I just use my Real Technique powder brush and just dust off everything and tap everything also into the skin. Which I've learned a lot now is it's better to tap than to swirl around the face. So that is what I'm doing now. Now on to bronzing up the face. I use another Pretty Vulgar product, and Bronze B is the bronzer that I've used. And yeah, that's the bronzer I use. And I've been using now my old powder brush for bronzing up the face because it's a bigger, fluffier brush. And it actually made my foundation, my contour and bronzing actually look not muddy. And I've been keen to having my bronzer look really, really muddy. So I think I found the trick for my bronzer. So and then I use a Becca bronzer as well in bronzed amber, so I just use that very lightly on top of the Bronze B one, so it doesn't look as harsh, I guess, or look more natural looking. And just lightly dust it all over the face. And then I use a small little precisely brush. Alright, and then onto blush, I use my Luxie blush brush and two Tarte blushes, Party and Dollface. They're the best blushes I've used. And just tapping off the excess, and I mix the two, and I'm struggling with that. Smile, so it shows like where your smile will be, where the pink would be in your face. Now I started highlighting my face, and then I forgot I was not recording. So I'm just using the Carly Deluxe palette and the gold highlighter on the bottom to highlight the face ever so lightly, because I actually didn't highlight so crazily today, which is surprising. So we're just gonna highlight up the face. It was a subtle highlight. So and then I went back to the eyes with the eyeliner from Buyer London and made my wing like usual. And I got a new mirror, so it gives me more precisely the wing I want it to give me. So that is a plus. And then onto mascara is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. And I just love it because of how my lashes are. They're like perfect for it. then finally onto lips, I use the Fenty Gloss Bomb, and it's the bomb. So I just grab that and put it on my lips. It is like the greatest lip gloss I've ever bought. And I usually never do lip gloss. I usually do a liquid lip, and this changed my mind on that. So this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to do another voiceover, give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, and I love you all so much. So thank you so much for everything you do. I love you all. Bye.